Confidence isn't something we can fake. It's not something we can find in a mirror or manufacture in our achievements. Confidence, real confidence, requires surgery. What if I told you that the path to true confidence actually requires you to be completely broken open? I know that's not the exact Instagram-worthy motivational poster message that you might have been looking for or expecting, but stay with me. Picture this. Surgeons are standing over an open chest. The sternum, that thick bone in your chest that protects your heart, has been sawed in half. Your rib cage is pried open, and there, exposed and vulnerable, is your heart. It's the thing that keeps you alive, the thing you've spent your whole life protecting. And here's the kicker. Once they get inside, they discover that the damage is even worse than what they thought. The double bypass that was planned, it's not going to cut it. It's not enough. It's going to take even more. It's going to hurt more. It's going to require more recovery time. It's going to be a longer, harder road than what you thought you were signing up for. But here's what's also true. It's the only way to save your life. You belong here. Obviously, I'm not talking about a physical heart surgery today, friend. I'm talking about the kind of surgery that actually changes your life spiritually. It's the kind that reveals what you've been hiding, even from yourself. It's the kind that exposes the if-onlys that you've been clinging to, like, if only I could lose the weight, if only I looked different, if only I worked harder, if only I had this job, if only I had money, if only I was this, or if only I wasn't that. We've all got our list. And we've been trying to perform our way into confidence for the longest, haven't we? We've been trying to fix ourselves from the outside in. But what if I told you that that's never going to work? What if real breakthrough, the real confidence, the real freedom, it requires us to go deeper than we ever thought we really wanted to go? Today, we're talking about breaking the confidence code through heart surgery. And yes, it's a requirement. Here's the beautiful part. You don't have to be afraid. Why? Because you have the greatest physician ever that's going to be doing the surgery. He's already scrubbed in. He sees what you can't see, and he can fix what you didn't even know was broken. He's promised to be right here with you through the whole thing. And he's infusing his strength into you through every painful or beautiful moment of your recovery. Several years ago, my oldest brother was called in for heart surgery. They were planning on doing a bypass surgery or double bypass surgery. They were going to do a double bypass surgery, and he went in for surgery that morning. Come to find out, after they got in there, they realized the double bypass wasn't going to cut it. They were going to have to do a quadruple bypass. That meant so much more pain, so much more time in the hospital, so much more time in recovery. Like, it was just, all of a sudden, exponentially a much bigger deal. But without the surgery, he was going to die. He was not going to survive without it. So they did they ended up doing a quadruple bypass, and he came out of the surgery okay. He stayed with us for a little while because he couldn't really take care of himself. And I was there watching him make progress every day. Every day he got better. Every day he got stronger. When he first came home from the hospital, he couldn't even get out of a chair by himself. But within a few weeks, he was up taking care of himself perfectly fine and was able to go back home and live his life as normal. Here's the thing that I want you to take away from that. You can't fix what you can't see. If you don't know that it's there, then you can't do anything about it. We've been talking a lot about avoidance and hiding and running away and living behind masks and all these things. Last episode, we talked about getting honest. This is just another deeper layer of that. We have to be willing to let God do surgery on our heart. We have to be willing to put down the mask, quit pretending to be a perfect Christian, and lay our heart out before the Lord raw and say, here, do heart surgery on me. It's the only way to move forward. It's the only way to have life. Otherwise, you just continue living in death. You cannot heal what you won't reveal. And what you don't reveal continues to kill you. Unfortunately, the surgery for my brother required actually opening his chest before they knew how bad it was. They thought they were going to do a double bypass. Once they opened his chest, they're like, oh man, that's not going to cut it. He'll still die if we only do a double. They didn't know the full extent of the damage that was already done. A double or even a triple wouldn't have been enough. But only by seeing the complete picture were the doctors able to proceed with proper technique and proper healing. Otherwise, anything else would have just been a Band-Aid. It would have just prolonged his life a little bit. It wouldn't have saved his life. In fact, he probably could have died pretty quickly after that. I mean, he was in really bad shape. So why am I telling you about my brother? Well, we can't fix what we don't see. We can't fix what we can't get to. And we certainly can't fix what we're not willing to admit exists. I'm also sharing my story about my brother because he had to have it to live. Once the doctors got to digging in there, it wasn't going to be as simple as they thought. And I know that sounds really scary, but I want to share it with you as actually an encouraging thought and an encouraging story, because as we're digging deeper into having real, true confidence and doing the work to get there, doing the work to break free from the lies that we believe, the garbage that we're carrying around, as we're breaking free from all those things, sometimes we may hit something that hurts. And I want to challenge you and encourage you, when something is tender, don't run from it, don't avoid it, don't ignore it, don't shove it back up under the rug. Actually take a look at it. Because if it hurts, then there's something there. And then when you start digging into it to find out, okay, why am I hurting in this area? Then something else might pop up. You might realize, oh, okay, well, that hurt, but actually this hurts even worse. Like, it's opened up this whole plethora of pain, and now I don't know what to do with it. And it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I want to encourage you, just hold on tight. It's part of the surgery. You went in for a double bypass and you're getting a quadruple, and it's going to be okay because it's going to bring you life. And I don't want to leave you there for sure. Like, just you keep staying with me here. We're going to get through the other end of this together. I promise. We're going to keep going. But I don't want you to get scared. I don't want you to get scared of, oh my gosh, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. I really just wanted to sign up for a feel-good thing. I didn't want you to make me feel bad. I don't want to make you feel bad either. But I do want to bring you healing. And as long as we keep running from our pain, we'll never be healed. As long as we keep hiding behind a fake persona, we'll never be confident. We'll never be healed. We'll never walk in true power and confidence and identity. You got to shed that junk off, man. You got to shed that garbage. But you got to admit that you got some garbage first. And then once you admit that you got some garbage, you may realize, man, I've got like 5 bags of garbage. Let's get rid of it all. Let's get rid of it all. So just stay with me. I'm not going to leave you alone. You're not going to be by yourself. We're on this journey together. And don't be afraid. And even if you are afraid, be courageous and do it anyway. Hello, friend. I hope you're enjoying today's episode. Hey, if you're getting value out of the content I'm sharing, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and even share it with a friend. It really helps us get the word out. I appreciate your support so much. And now back to the show. We've tried all kinds of unhealthy ways to fix our hearts. The common one is, well, if only I looked a certain way. Or if only I lost the weight, or if only I worked harder, or if only fill in the blank. Sometimes we want to fix our hearts with, well, if only you would do this, if only you would stop doing that, then I could feel okay. Let me tell you something, friend. I got a news flash for you. You can't control what other people do. The only thing you have control over in this life is yourself and your reaction to what other people do. So if you're waiting for someone else to change their behavior so that you feel good about yourself, you're going to be waiting a long time. And why do you want to give that other person that kind of power? Why would you want to put all your power and control into someone else's hands when they've got their own garbage? They're going to mishandle you because they've got their own garbage bags they got to deal with. And maybe they're running from their garbage bags, or maybe they're wearing a mask, or maybe they're trying to shove everything under the rug. They're not going to be able to handle your heart properly if they've got their own garbage. We have to learn how to handle our heart ourselves. We have to learn how to handle our heart partnered with God and let Him continue to do the heart surgery on us so that we can stand in confidence regardless of what somebody else does or doesn't do. It doesn't matter what somebody else does or doesn't do, we're not shaken. These aren't necessarily inherently bad goals that we have for ourselves. As far as like, if I was this or if I was that, it's not that those things are bad, but we use them as sources of confidence and validation of our worth. And it always leaves us hollow and empty. They set us up for more pain. Even if I put these idealistic goals on myself, I set myself up for pain because I don't meet them. For years, I had my alarm clock set at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I am not a morning person. I am a night owl by nature. But for years, I would have my alarm clock set at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was going to get up. I was going to go to the gym. I was going to spend time with God. I was going to have a great productive morning before my day even started. I hardly ever got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, okay, well, what is the realistic time that I want to get up? So I was like, well, realistically, I have to be up by 7 so that I can get my kid to school and I can get my day going and get to the office and all that stuff. So I was like, my goal is to set my alarm at 5 o'clock to get up at 5. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to set my alarm at 4:30. That way, if I snooze a little bit, I got a 30-minute buffer. Then I was like, well, then I'll set my alarm also at 5:15, just in case I don't get up at 5 o'clock. Then my alarm will go off again at 5:15. And then I'll be running a few minutes behind, but I still got time. And I was like, maybe I should set one for 5:30. Here's the thing. I had an alarm set for 4:30, 5, 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, 6, 6:30, and 7. You know what time I got up? 7. Every single day. And you know what happened to me every single day? I felt like an complete and utter failure. I had set myself up to reinforce the message that I'm an absolute failure. I cannot get up and get all this stuff done because it was this idealistic goal. And I had other people in my life telling me, well, if you would just get up in the morning and go to the gym in the morning and spend time with God in the morning, you would lead a much happier life. Now, this was coming from a morning person. And I'm like, okay, I'll try to comply with your expectations of me because that's what you think. And I want to please you. And maybe you're right. Maybe I would be a happier person if I started getting up in the mornings. But then I never did. I never could get up in the mornings. I'm just not an early riser. I never have been my entire life. I've never been an early riser. So what I did was I kept reinforcing this belief that I'm an absolute failure. I can't meet my own goals. I can't meet other people's goals. I can't meet other people's expectations. Now, I know this is a simple and somewhat silly example, but man, it really messed with my head that I can't meet this goal. And it really reinforced pain about my identity. It really reinforced the idea that I was a failure. I'll never be good at anything. I can't even get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll never be good at anything. Man, isn't that crazy? I can't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that just makes me I might as well just give up on life because I'm never going to be good at anything. Isn't that nuts how we start telling ourselves those things? We have goals that we set for ourselves, and they're usually some idealistic standard that we can't meet. And here's the thing. If I got up at 5 o'clock, I might feel good about myself for a moment, but that's not real for me. That's me trying to please other people, trying to be something that I'm not. And I'm like, well, maybe if I could just get up at 5 o'clock every single day, then I would be worthy. Then I would be good. Finally, I was like, I'm just not a morning person, and I'm not going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's just how I'm going to live. Man, boy, did I feel some freedom after that. I was like, I'm just not a morning person. And I felt a lot of relief when I finally just got honest and got real. Remember last episode we talked about being honest and real? When I was honest with myself and with others, I experienced a ton of freedom. I no longer felt the shame and disappointment for not meeting some unrealistic goal that I'd set for myself. And what does all that have to do with heart surgery? It's all part of the plan, man. Heart surgery is required. We have to dig deep. I had to dig deep even in that situation of the silly alarm clock. I was like, what is really going on here? Why am I beating myself up? What am I really believing about myself? What am I really believing here in this situation? Because I can't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I dug down deep inside of it and realized, oh man, I'm believing that I'm a failure for one. I'm believing that I can't meet other people's expectations. They must think I'm a failure. They think I'm a failure probably. They probably think I'll never be good for anything because I can't get up at 5 o'clock, or I don't get up at 5 o'clock regularly every single day. Like, there's all these roots and lies that go to that. Something as simple as the alarm clock. Like, there's so many roots that were deep in there. I had to allow God to take a look at my heart, partner with Him in the surgery to get healing from that, and realize, oh, I'm actually setting my alarm clock because I want other people to think that I'm valuable. I want other people to think that I'm good enough. Because see, the whole premise of starting my day at 5 o'clock wasn't because that's just logically how it worked. It was because I was being told I would be happier if I do that. I should do that. I should do that so that I can be at the office and do all this other stuff. And that way my personal time doesn't cut into their objective. And I realized I was living my life for the approval of others. The whole foundational concept behind getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning was so that I could live my life and be approved by others. And when I wasn't doing that, I felt condemnation from every direction. And even though they weren't condemning me, they weren't really thinking I was a failure. They weren't really thinking that I'll never be good for anything. They genuinely thought because they're a morning person and they love getting up early in the morning, I'd love it too. They just wanted to share the joy. But reality is that's just didn't work. And me trying to be something and perform to make someone else happy with me, because I wanted them to be happy with me, because my value and my worth rested on their opinion of me. That's heart surgery, friend. That is heart surgery, friend. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. I got to that root and realized I'm living for their approval, not my Father's. That's heart surgery, friend. And there's freedom in it. We've been given a freedom, a promise of freedom from our Father himself, that if we would allow him to do heart surgery on us, we will walk in freedom. He desires to fill that void in a healthy way. See, like I had this void of wanting to feel appreciated, of wanting to feel validated, of wanting to feel approved. But when I let him do heart surgery on me, I didn't need that other person's approval. That's heart surgery. Freedom comes regardless of whether we are on any path to any goal. It doesn't matter what goal you have. If you are partnering with the Lord and you are letting him do the heart surgery on you and you're getting to the core root of the things of what you're really believing behind your behavior, there's freedom there for you. In breaking the confidence code, it allows us to walk in freedom and not the if-onlys. Doctors cannot fix what they cannot see. And we can't be healed from what we refuse to acknowledge. But here's the good news. God is the great physician, and he's not afraid of what he finds when he opens our hearts. He's been wanting to heal us completely. He's just wanting us to let him in. You're not broken beyond repair. You're in the process of restoration. I've got some journal questions for you this week. I'm going to post them down below as well. But what are some fear or wounds that you've been avoiding looking at? And what would it look like to invite God into those hidden places? Have you ever discovered that a problem was worse than you thought once you looked a little deeper? How did you respond? Did you run or did you face it? Which if-only statements resonate the most with you? If only I looked a certain way. If only I worked harder. If only fill in the blank. How have these hollow promises affected your confidence? And what does heart surgery look like in your life right now? What specific area is God asking you to let him operate on? Where have you been trying to fix yourself instead of allowing God to heal you? What's the difference between the two approaches? Then I want you to read Isaiah 41:10. Which phrase speaks most to you today? Do not yield to fear. I am always near. I will infuse you with my strength. I will help you in every situation. What would complete freedom look like for you? How would your life be different if you weren't defined by your fears or your if-only statements? And are you willing to undergo heart surgery, even if it's painful and reveals more than you expected? What is God asking you to surrender today? I've put the journal questions down below. Take your time and meditate through them. Also, I've included scripture references for you to meditate on as you're working through your journal questions this week. If you have a breakthrough or an aha moment, I would love to know about it. Make sure you comment down below and share it with me so I can celebrate with you, the community can celebrate with you, or even just start a conversation. If you have any questions or need any help, comment below and I'll be sure to read them. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you next time.